This is the cheapest 1440p 144Hz monitor that you can get today, the Viotek GNV27DB. Yeah, right now, as of March 2021, it is $250. And as the cheapest monitor, you probably imagine that you're missing out on a few features and specs that a more expensive 1440p 144Hz monitor has, right? Well, let's take a look. So for starters, yeah, like I said, this is the cheapest 2K resolution 144Hz refresh rate monitor that you can get right now. Amazingly, it was only 2 or 3 years ago that a good 1080p 144Hz monitor cost this much, $250. 1440p is becoming the new 1080p, especially because of how far graphics cards have come recently. Most modern mid-tier graphics cards, like the RTX 2060 or even the 1660 Super, for example, will certainly be able to play modern games at 1440p with an above 60 FPS frame rate. Long story short, now's the time to upgrade from 1080p. So first up, let's take a look at the listed specs for the GNV27DB. A full 2K resolution of 2560 by 1440p, a refresh rate of 144 Hz, a 6 millisecond response time, but it does drop down to 4.8 milliseconds with the response overdrive. And before I continue with the specs, I just want to say, don't let this 4.8 to 6 millisecond response time scare you off. I have used many monitors and I cannot say that I have ever been able to notice a difference between 1 millisecond and 5 milliseconds, and I do play a lot of first-person shooters where you would notice that type of thing. This monitor also has a VA panel, which is actually surprising because VA isn't bad at all, and Viotek totally could have opted for the cheaper option, a TN panel. And in case you're wondering what the heck I'm talking about, there's 3 main different types of panels in monitors: TN, VA, and IPS. TN panels will have the worst colors and viewing angles, IPS panels the best, and VA sits right between the two. TN panels are usually going to be found in the cheapest of monitors, but this cheapest 1440p 144Hz monitor uses a VA panel, so a very pleasant surprise there. I'll go more in depth about the colors and viewing angles later in the video. As for color accuracy, we're looking at an sRGB gamut rating of 96% and NTSC of 85% with a 3000:1 contrast ratio. The screen is curved with a curve rating of 1500R, which is a pretty aggressive curve. As for anti-screen tearing tech, it has AMD FreeSync, which works with refresh rates of 48 Hz all the way up to 144 Hz, as well as gsync. And lastly, for ports, it has 3 HDMI, 2 of which are 1.4 and the other 2.0, and 1 DisplayPort. And that's pretty much it for what's on paper for this monitor. So now let's go a little more in depth, since it may be a little unconvincing when you're paying the lowest price for all of these premium features and only reading about them. So for starters, the unboxing experience is what you'd expect: firm packaging using styrofoam and bubble wrap, and it certainly wasn't difficult to get unboxed, which you will unfortunately find with some monitors, so that's great. So packaging, best of both worlds: well protected monitor and cables, and not difficult to get out of the box. Setup was also super easy. It really is just plug and play. Plug the power right in and then plug in either your DisplayPort or HDMI coming out of your PC or console or whatever device you may be using, and the monitor auto detects the signal and will start right up. You will have to change the refresh rate through Windows, so do not forget to do that or you will totally be missing out on the smooth 144 Hz refresh rate. Next, I want to go over the item that most of you guys want to hear about, the gaming experience, starting with talking about Vsync. You will not be seeing any screen tearing with this monitor, as it is both G-Sync and FreeSync compatible, like I said earlier, which is pretty common in all gaming monitors nowadays, thank goodness. Vsync is essential to a good gaming experience, especially if you're not hitting higher frame rates. So how about the colors? Like I said earlier, there is a 96% sRGB color gamut and an 85% NTSC rating. What this pretty much means is that the colors won't be super extremely accurate, but certainly accurate enough to give a perfectly enjoyable experience, whether you're gaming or watching a movie. So let's take a deeper look. But first, let me tell you about Luster. So in this video, I'm telling you about the cheapest 1440p 144Hz monitor that you can get right now, but perhaps you have a different smaller or bigger budget, or you're looking for something with different specific features and want a more personalized recommendation from a highly trustworthy source. Well, there's this new and upcoming free shopping tool called Luster. It's a free Chrome extension that gives you exactly that. Not only does it find and analyze trusted expert reviews, but it also brings up discussion forums mentioning products, like on Reddit or video reviews on YouTube. Let me give you guys a little demo. So I'm looking for the best CPU for around $500, so it gives me the top 5 CPUs for that exact price range. And it backs up exactly why they're the top 5 with tons of info and data. Let's take a look at what they tell me about the i9-10900K. It compares a bunch of 1 to 10 scores from multiple trustworthy websites, such as PC Mag, PC Gamer, Windows Central, Tom's Hardware, etc. And then right below that, it shows me all the tech specs, which I really like. The point is, you're going to be saving a lot of time and money using Lustre. Link to get Lustre is in my description. So first I want to compare this display with its default settings to another VA panel monitor that has an sRGB of 110% and NTSC of 85%. And here's that chart again. How noticeable of a difference is there? So what I did was I set up the two monitors side by side, got them both as calibrated as I could, and got to comparing. So what you're seeing here is the same exact color cycling video playing on both monitors, and there's definitely some really subtle, noticeable differences, especially with the green right there. And it's likely because the MSI monitor has a higher sRGB rating. Now, of course, this won't be a significant problem if you're gaming or something like that, but it's certainly something worth mentioning. And yeah, I'll let this color cycling video play out for another 10 seconds so you can take a really close look. And I can't just be comparing flat colors, I also want to show you guys the colors while in motion. So I started up Minecraft and stretched the Minecraft window so it reached both sides of the monitors. And this is where you really start to see the differences. On the left monitor, the blues are definitely a bit deeper, same with the greens and reds. So I guess that means that the left monitor has deeper colors on the whole spectrum. But you know, I'll let you be the judge of that. Take a look. Now, like I said, I would definitely consider these to be pretty subtle differences, nothing that would really be a deal breaker, but certainly something that's good to know. But now the ultimate test, comparing it to a display with an IPS panel with a 120% sRGB and a DCI P3 of 92%. And the chart is right here once again, just so you can pause and understand it a little better. So once again, let's get to comparing. The Gigabyte IPS panel monitor is on the left and the Viotek with its VA panel is on the right. Starting with a beautiful nature and scenic landscapes video, the difference is very apparent. Not like the last comparison, because here we're comparing two different panels, and as I said earlier, IPS panels are designed with color accuracy in mind. And as you can see here with this specific shot, the blues and greens are much deeper on the IPS panel, and the VA panel is having a little bit of trouble reproducing those deeper colors. And funnily enough, it becomes a lot more apparent when I hop into Minecraft. Now, my camera will never really be able to reproduce exactly what my eyes are seeing, but let me tell you, the difference was extremely noticeable when I was playing Minecraft. Every single color stood out way more in the IPS panel when comparing it to the VA panel and the Viotek. And you may be wondering, well, hey, can I just up the saturation on the VA panel monitor? And unfortunately, that's not how it works. IPS panels can just reproduce colors that VA panels cannot. And here's that wall of wool comparison once again. And as you can see, every single color looks so much better on the IPS panel. But don't take this in the wrong way. I'm not trying to push you away from getting this monitor. I'm just showing you how well VA panels can produce the color, specifically with the Viotek GNV27DB. Now to talk about the stand, if you've ever watched any of my monitor videos, you'd know that I never fail to talk about the stand. Stands are a lot more important and significant than people tend to make them out to be. And as expected, this monitor stand is not anything special. It can provide a pretty good tilt adjustment, which in most cases can compensate for not having a height adjustable stand. And if you want to tilt it from side to side, you'll have to move the entire monitor. The screen itself doesn't rotate, you have to actually move the entire monitor. So yeah, the monitor can definitely move, but perhaps a little bit too much. As you can see here, lightly tapping the monitor will make it wiggle a lot. Also, punching your desk if you're an angry gamer does also make the monitor wiggle quite a bit. And I did actually go back and see if I didn't tighten a screw enough or something like that. But no, it turns out this monitor is just that wobbly. Fortunately though, there is a pretty cheap solution to this. This monitor is VESA mount compatible, specifically 75 by 75. So if you want to go ahead and use a completely different stand that may be a good bit more stable than the one included with the Viotek GNV27DB, you absolutely can do that. I'll actually leave a link to a couple good Vesa mounts in the description. So to wrap things up, should you get the cheapest 1440p 144Hz monitor? I think so, yeah. If you're on a tight budget but don't want to miss out on a beautiful 2K resolution paired with a buttery smooth refresh rate, then you should absolutely pick it up. If you plan on getting this monitor or do have it, leave a comment. The community and I would love to hear about it. If you enjoy the video, drop a like. Have any comments or questions, drop a comment below. And if you enjoy the content that you're seeing, drop a sub. Thanks for watching. Peace out.